Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are. I could actually do my shoot promo interview here because I haven't done my shoot promo interview in years. But I will just say hello to everyone there out there in Interland. How you doing? It's Red Reddington here and Samoan Driver here for the No Show episode 5. It is Saturday, the 2nd of February. We're already into the second month of 2019, which probably means all of your New Year's resolutions have been given up, but we are still going strong. So it is episode 5. Hello, Simone Driver. How are you doing, sir?
Jesus fucking Christ! It's only February.
Yes, it is only February yet. You can not tap out yet.
I'm close. My hands are shaking, son. My hands are shaking.
Well, we've got an interesting show for everyone today. We're going to go over the last week of wrestling, including going all the way back to NXT TakeOver, having a little catch up of that and the Rumble, as well as a fun update on our change of rules. We decided to spice things up in the Jobber Championship department. So we do have a new Jobber champion. Yeah, Drew McIntyre did eliminate some people, but who? That might be a bit of indeed. That might be a bit of a clue as to who is the new Jobber champion. We might talk about Raw and SmackDown. I haven't personally watched them because I have spent this week avoiding watching Best in the Yard 4, which Too Many Quarks recommended to us, and we will be covering Best in the Yard at some point today, and we'll cover some news and some bits and pieces. So, should we start with TakeOver?
Let's go ahead and start with TakeOver, son.
Let's start off with NXT TakeOver from all the way from last week, NXT Phoenix, a lovely 5-match show. So we kicked off the night with the War Raiders defeating the Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships in 16 minutes and 57 seconds. What did you make of this?
Dominant win by the War Raiders. I mean, the Era, in my opinion, they obviously got their offense in, but I think from the word go, you pretty much had an idea the War Raiders were going to win. Still a very entertaining match. Their intro was baller as hell. Great way to kick off TakeOver. Can't wait to see what they do with the War Raiders from here.
Yeah, it was really interesting to kind of see them in action outside of. I think I'd only really seen the War games, which is really bad to say. I think I saw them on New Japan. So it's kind of interesting to see them in a straight tag team match. I mean, these guys are really impressive. Like,
Yeah,
they've got that big agile guy feel, but still managed to keep that big strong ethos going. And the Undisputed Era bumped like hell for these guys. So yeah, really entertaining opener. I don't remember much about it, but I think that's because just like everything else that followed was also pretty much super cool. So
yeah. Any team who's like 375, who can do a springboard freaking back elbow.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
I know.
God bless Hansen. He is fucking talented for if he can fucking do that.
I mean, like there were all these rumors in like WCW that apparently Big Show once climbed to the top rope in the power plant and did a moonsault onto like a crash mat.
Yeah.
And like the trainers like told him, "Do not do that ever." And I'm sad that we never got to see Big Show do a moonsault because that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Riddle defeating Cassius Ohno this says by submission, which annoys me because I think I put stoppage down on the fucking Fuji bet.
Technically.
Oh no, sorry. It was Shayna Baszler. It was the Shayna Baszler one that was a stoppage. That was right. Actually, yeah. Let's have a look at my Fuji bets and see how I did on this because I think I legit tried to predict these ones, and I think I just guessed the Rumble ones. Did I get any?
Yeah, you guessed the Rumble, I think. I don't know. It's something. Good.
I was gonna say I got 4 points for the NXT Tag Team Championship, so that's a win. Matt Riddle. I had Matt Riddle pinfall. and no interference. So I don't know why I thought it was going to be a pinfall, but that was kind of cool. I was alright with this match. I'm gonna catch heat for this, but I'm not the biggest Matt Riddle fan in the world. I don't really know much of his stuff. I mean, like I think I've seen the I saw one match of his in Progress. I thought it was alright. Um, I get it. I like the gimmick. But this match did nothing for me because I'd already seen Cassius Ono get beaten the previous takeover. So this is kind of a nothing match to me, but it was fine. It was okay. It kind of died a bit of a death because the tag opener was so hot, but it was alright for me.
Yeah, this is a hell of a lot better than their like 10-second match at the last takeover.
Yes.
Um, both men look like $1,000,000. Matt Riddle go over. They told a fantastic story in their like 9.5 minutes that they had. Um, Matt Riddle, of course, had to go over. Makes me wonder what they're going to do with Cassius Ono because he has been on a losing streak like a son of a bitch. So
This was
don't know.
this was the toe thing. This was the toe match, wasn't it? Where he
Yeah,
started. Yeah.
which great spot. I mean, if you're going in there barefoot, you do what you have to do to win, son.
Oh man.
The
Apple
only
with the
thing
tongue.
the only thing that I don't like about Matt Riddle and that I've never liked is that he wrestles barefoot. Now,
Mm.
him being former MMA, I completely understand the gimmick, just like I understood when Rusev used to wrestle barefoot, or I guess wrapped, but more or less barefoot.
Mm.
I'm wondering how long it's going to be until they actually make him either wear wrestling shoes or just straight up boots.
I don't know. I think this is a flight of fancy with Matt Riddle. I think they're waiting to see they're waiting to see whether they can fit him in to this brand because to be honest, I don't see where Matt really fits in NXT. I mean, he's a he's a guy who's going to do you know for lack of a better word Matt based wrestling, um, and MMA stuff, right? Which I know
Yeah.
NXT has got that kind of shoot fighting style. I could see him having an entertaining feud with Aleister Black, but like apart from that, I don't really see much in the way of Matt Riddle. Who knows? I might be wrong. I don't know much about it, but I just kind of felt this match was the sore thumb that stuck out of the hand here.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see where he goes from Cassius Ono, whether he goes for the North American Championship and Johnny Gargano, whether he goes up against some of the bigger guys. When he goes up against strikers like Ono, and I'd even say like Aleister Black, this is
Mm.
where he really shines because, he's done I don't think shoot fights, but shoot style matches with, like, I think Minoru Suzuki even.
Jesus.
So, if you put him up against somebody who can go stiff, that's where he's at his best. But when you put him up against another wrestler, at least in the WWE and even NXT, it's going to be really interesting where it goes from here. I
Mm.
honestly see him, if he plays his cards right, see him getting called up probably the next time they call people up, just because, like you said, there's really not. I think there's a place for him in NXT, but I think he's probably more suited for the main roster at this point.
Yeah, he's
They
got.
just have good.
I was gonna say he's got that kind of young teen demographic going for him. I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, it
Um,
completely works for him, but yeah, it's going to definitely be interesting to see where it goes.
yeah, I mean he's got kind of that weird kind of John Cena man child thing going for him. Um, I could get. Did you hear the weird rumor about apparently Nikki Bella was telling I can't remember what magazine it was. It was some women's magazine. She told some women's magazine that it was perfectly normal for her to maintain a relationship with Cena still, and apparently she calls him to tell him how her dates went. Like
It
what?
it if it was any other, like, if it was a relationship to where they were good friends, they tried the dating thing, but it didn't really work out, so they kind of went their own separate ways for a couple months and came back and was, like, even better friends than before, that would be one of those things to where I can kinda see that. No joke. But you're fucking engaged at one point.
Yeah,
Unless Cena has a huge cuckold fetish going on, something doesn't fucking make sense here.
yeah. I don't know if Nikki was literally just saying it because she wants to remain, she wants to be. Oh, this is going to be a terrible pun. Seen as relevant, um, for dating John Cena. I don't know. It's weird. Let's get
Yeah.
back to Takeover. Johnny Gargano defeating Ricochet for the North American 23-36 in a match that I was just, this is the kind of match you run out of tissues on. Yeah, this was hot from the get go. This was two guys who, um, well, this is the kind of thing. It's like there are some matches on card. I can imagine Jim Cornette just going completely fucking bananas at this match because it was a dance more than a fight. But
Yeah.
there are some times when, okay, we just had the War Raiders versus the Undisputed Era. We just had Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. We just had two fights. Okay, I don't mind if you send out the dancers next. You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind if you bring on the ballet. That's fine. Um, these guys knew where to stand to take shits. They knew where to be. They caught each other. The biggest thing in this match, however, was when Gargano pulled up the mat, and on the concrete there was a suspicious stain on the concrete. It looked like someone had taken a piss on the concrete and then covered it up with the mat. There were so many, and in the fucking chat, there were so many fucking piss emoticons. I could not get past it. Jesus Christ, there was. Oh dear.
Now,
So
when he did the brainbuster on Ricochet, I can't remember. Was it on that stain?
no, no.
Ah, damn.
I think it was the other side of the stain. I think
Okay.
later on, Champa did attempt something on the stain, so there might have been something going on there. Yeah, this was a an awesome match to say the least. Really liked everything the guys did. I really love Ricochet putting Gargano in the Gargano escape. I think that's a really cool spot. I would have liked to have seen that as the finish.
Mhm.
Because I always like when heels tap out to their own moves. That's like Kurt Angle perfected that back in the 90s. And more heels need to learn to do that because it's such a good thing. Like if someone taps out Shayna Baszler with her own fucking move, they would be so fucking over. Like that would be great.
Yeah.
What did you make of this?
Uh, holy shit. That's the only phrase I can say this. These two guys, two of the best in the world. Ricochet, of course, being the high flyer he is, Johnny Gargano. I mean, like you said, they knew where to be at to take their spots. They knew where, no, they knew exactly where to stand. They knew exactly what story they wanted to tell with this match. And they executed it pretty much flawlessly. There might have been one or two places here and there, but for the most part, this is about as close to a 5-star match as you can get without actually being 5 stars.
Yeah.
So it's honestly excited to see if they end up having a rematch at a Mania weekend.
Mm.
But these two guys, they absolutely tore the fucking house down with this.
Yeah, I imagine the rematch will be the halftime heat thing, but we will get to that later.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shayna Baszler defeating Bianca Belair by technical submission. Referee stoppage in. Oh, let me just see. Did I predict? I did predict Johnny Gargano pinfall, and no, so I did well there. Uh, Full marks again. I think the only thing I got wrong. What was I? I was 100 out of 100. So I got okay. This for me was a grower. 15 minutes and 26 seconds. This started off great, died a bit in the middle, and then the finish felt off, and then got better. Um, Basically, as far as I recall, the finish involved uh, Belair getting out of the sleeper, the rear naked choke even a
Yeah.
couple of times, and then she went for a 450, and Shayna caught her, and then
Yeah.
locked it on again, and then she got the technical submission, the referee stoppage. But this match was showcasing Belair as someone that could go with the top women. Like, she's pretty much been a non-entity and soured, and we talked about this, kind of tapered away for a while.
Yeah.
So seeing these two get in the ring, go, they had a really, really strong contest here. Really strong.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Bianca, despite her, I think it's been 8 months since she started at the Performance Center. Now she's in a women's title match for NXT.
Mm.
Uh, I'm honest, this is my first time actually seeing her through a full match, and she's pretty damn good. She's not to the point to where she can even touch the women's title. She's not to the point to where uh, I'd even say that she. It's a good match. Don't get me wrong.
Mm.
Give it another 3 months. At the rate she's improving, we're going to have a new women's champion. She might be the one who actually takes out Shayna Baszler. But
Yeah.
right here, there are a few spots to where, like I said, it got slow. The ending was a tad off that 450, but to go from a 450 to the Karafuda clutch, or Karafuda, however the fuck Mora pronounces it, into the rear naked choke, I don't think there's a way you can do that without it looking absolutely screwy.
Yeah.
But they did the best that they could with it. Surprisingly entertaining match. I'm very excited to see where Bianca Belair goes from this, and Shayna Baszler still shows that she is an absolute friggin' monster in the ring. I still say I want to see her versus Ronda Rousey, just
Yes.
because just their styles would work freaking perfectly when she gets called up to the main roster. So very good, very very solid women's match.
I would like to see Ronda Rousey in WrestleMania weekend, and just for them to have a stare down moment post match,
Yeah,
like literally just look at each other and for like a second, and that's it, and you get a fucking pop from that. Like, even if Rousey came back and beat Baszler for nothing, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. It'd be really good to see it. Yeah, I enjoyed this. And last but not least, the main event: Tommaso Ciampa defeating Aleister Black for the NXT Championship 26-30. Um, uh, this was weird. So I wasn't sure whether the finish was was a shoot, or whether it was a work, or what was going on. So, like, as far as I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, but as far as I remember, Ciampa got a bottle of water and he like poured it over Aleister Black very early in the match. So there was water on the floor. There was something happened on the outside. I can't remember what it was. He threw Ciampa back in, but then slipped like for a moment on the water,
mm-hmm.
and then decided to sit back in the ring, but only got a 2. And then Ciampa just does what he seems to usually do, which is just go home. Which is just like he does his move twice and got the pinfall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it was kind of like it was a weird bookend to the kind of Ciampa Black feud.
yeah, is if it was a match of the night, it is a very close second by at least by at most a quarter star. Um, Not quite sure exactly. I don't think it was a shoot. I think it was legitimately a work with his knee injury just caving before he tried to go for the Black Mass the last time.
Hmm.
Um, but it was a good match. I think it's kind of hard because there's something about it felt off, definitely, but you don't know exactly what needed to be changed. The
No.
ending, though, absolutely made it. The fact that Ciampa kicked out of, all those black masses. Aleister Black kicked out of what? Two fairy tale endings before, finally getting hit with one, the DDT, and then a second one. I think this is the way the ending segment went. Um, I don't know if it's just the finisher spam or what. You know, I think it's hard to kind of go over Gargano and Ricochet, even though, these two are equally as talented. It's, I really don't know exactly how to quantify, just the feeling of offness.
I've kind of seen it a lot with Ciampa's matches. Is that the whole go home thing just happened the finishes are just like sudden. Like
Yeah,
they just go into finish mode. We kind of saw it with Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream. I really felt that Dream should have sold that elbow for longer. That Ciampa should have rolled back in the ring. There should have been an almost 9, before Dream rolled back in the ring and then Ciampa then beat him. But they just it seemed like they just ran out of time. So this is what it felt like here because I think the thing here was that I don't know if you've seen this, but the post match
yeah,
confrontation between Black, Ricochet, Dream, Gargano, Ciampa, and Adam Cole was to set up halftime heat for a 6-man tag match. So that's what they're doing for halftime heat at the Super Bowl. Sorry, the Superb Owl. Um, so yes, I think that was kind of where they were going. It was kind of this match on the surface didn't matter, you know.
it
That was
did,
fun.
it did, but at the same sense, it didn't.
Yeah,
Um,
with
like,
Scythe.
I don't want to. I'm not going to talk shit about the sudden ending because with Champa, you can kind of get away with that, just because just the way he wrestles and the kind of person he is, he can end it almost exactly like that. Same thing kind of with Aleister Black with the Black Mass. So even though it was rushed and probably low on time, I really can't deduct it anything because of the sudden ending, just because, you know, that's almost been Ciampa's shtick. Again, bringing up Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, all in all, it was a really, really good takeover sandwich that had like some good bookending, a really, really fun middle. Um, but at the end, you were kind of left a little bit hungry. So
Kind
it
of
was
like kind of like with AJ Styles. It just leaves you empty inside, unfulfilled.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the Rumble. Um,
Perfect
yeah,
segue.
indeed, a lovely segue into the Rumble. I don't want to talk too much about the pre-show, other than we can. I mean, okay, I'm gonna steal a line from Dark Matrix here. This Royal Rumble was the first time in a long time. I think since probably Money in the Bank 2016. I want to say maybe 2017. I think 2016 maybe. Where the entire show was a story. This entire show was like an episode of some kind of series on HBO. This was like an entire season of a show in one go. So the important things were the opening, the second match on the pre-show was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev with Lana, and there was a spot where Lana fell off the apron, and it legit looked like she had done her ankle in. I don't know if it was legit, but um, that was kind of cool. And the other thing to talk about was the fucking. If you go out your way to go and watch the pre-show, go and watch the fucking 205 Fatal 4-Way. Because
Yeah.
these guys were fucking. These guys, if you thought Gargano and Ricochet were going at 90, these guys went at 100. Holy shit. Like, this match was awesome.
I mean, that match, I would put it up there with some of the junior heavyweight clusterfucks that New Japan does.
Mm.
I mean, it's a shame 205 Live is relegated to the spot that it's at, because these guys have way more talent than anything. If they honestly put SmackDown as a 3-hour show, like total, they should just go ahead and just absorb the cruiserweight division because these guys can like. It's a shame that they're not seen more prominently on WWE, but no complaints about that cruiserweight match. Solid.
Yeah, really good match. So the main show opened up with Oscar versus Becky Lynch. Oscar tapping out Becky in 17-10. I think this was one of those matches where no one got hurt from this. Like Oscar looked strong, Becky looked strong. Um, so I really liked this match. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I'm completely with you there. Asuka, she's finally back up to prominence. Her win at TLC was kind of like meh with the way it went down, but with the story that they're going with later on, not to get put the horse before the car or cart before the horse. Um, Asuka's going to defend the women's championship very strongly. She's back to her monster status, and Becky Lynch, like we'll talk about later on, like I said, loses nothing from this. Two solid women going at it. Very solid match.
Yeah. Next up was the WWE SmackDown Championship. The Bar defending against Ms. Shane McMahon and losing to Shane McMahon doing a shooting star press on a Royal Rumble show. The only thought I had on this match was imagine a match where The Miz is probably the closest thing to not injuring someone on this card.
Jesus Christ.
This was a fight. Um, this was I could not believe that Shane did that on this card, but sure, why not? I think a lot of people were kind of expecting to see the tag team breakup. There was kind of a lot of and they kind of got the titles, but this is going to be slow build.
Yeah.
This is going to be slow build.
I don't think that they would be. It would not be prudent to pull the trigger on the upcoming Miz Shane feud. It wouldn't be prudent to pull the trigger at Mania. Because, like you said, it has, at this point, since they won the belts, which is a pleasant shock, it is a surprise, but it's kind of refreshing at the same time. In a strange way, I can't quantify how, but, I don't know what else to say that you haven't said. Great match is, a straight up fight. Shane McMahon pulling out the shooting star. Somebody who's like, what, 45, 50 years old now? How the fuck old is Shane McMahon? 49. Okay, so I was kind of in there. If you're close to 50 years old and you can do a shooting star press, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want, especially if you're the boss's son. So, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here, how this is going to tie into Mania. But shocking ending, at least for me. Very good match, no complaints.
Yeah, I think this was the right choice to give them the titles. Sorry, I'm being messaged about my dinner. Apparently, I'll have to update my friend in a moment. Ronda Rousey, Sasha Banks, for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. This was a beautiful bit of artwork in terms of telling a story. And do you know what? I was holding my tongue. I watched this match, and it got to the spot where Ronda punched the ring post, and the ring post flickered out. And I held my tongue because I was waiting for the moment where someone mentioned it on commentary. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for someone to say it. And this is the kind of thing that someone like a Jonathan Coachman or a Jerry Lawler could not resist saying, but no one mentioned it. And do you know what? It was beautiful because that is showing, not telling. And this match was all about Sasha Banks being a complete and utter cunt to Ronda Rousey's arm. It was so good. So good. I didn't particularly like the finish, and I felt that the post match angle was a bit hokey in terms of like they continuously teased Sasha coming back and like doing something, but she kept coming back and like she did the four horsewomen thing. Um, but no, I liked the match until the finish. I thought the right person won. I think it's a good story. I mean, it does lead into the whole idea of you know, well, we'll save that for after the women's rumble. What did you make of this?
It's a decent match. I think every time she goes out there, you continuously see the evolution of Ronda Rousey as a professional wrestler. She looks. I think this is one of her best matches to date. The ending was a bit iffy for me. Not a big. It was what it was. They really need to change. Uh, Now, is Piper's Pit? Is that what they call her kind of almost power slam kind of Samoan drop, like almost
Yeah,
ankle slam.
yeah, I don't mind
They
the name.
Yeah, they need to either change the name or they need to change the fucking finisher because I really don't like it. But besides that, I mean, the ending was a bit off, but the match itself was pretty damn good. Uh, I think Ronda's finally, after 1 year in the biz, is finally finding her way as at least a wrestler. Uh, Her promo stuff still needs work. We'll talk about that at Raw, but at least in the mat action, she's doing a lot better.
Yeah, I think this was a nice little in terms of like plotting where she's come in the last four, not four, Jesus Christ, can't count. In the last few months, she's really improved. Like she's definitely showing her own. So, women's rumble. I'm going to be absolutely honest here. I have not watched this match yet. I know what happens, but I have not watched this match. Um, Main reason is because with 3 hours and 38 minutes worth of yard tarding to watch, a a 1 hour and 12 minute match where for the Fuji bets I literally just had to go to Wikipedia to get the results because I didn't need to look up interference stuff. I just went to Wikipedia and looked up stuff. So I don't know much about this match. I know that Becky Lynch won, taking Lana's spot. Um, so I'm going to let Simone Driver talk about this.
The notable call-ups for the Rumble, Lacey Evans was at number one, and she had a pretty good match. Um, Nikki Cross was at number 8, got eliminated by the Iconics, who were then eliminated by Lacey Evans. They were her two sole eliminations. Zia Lee from NXT, Kairi Sani from NXT, Candice LeRae, which is a very good entrant. Later, more about that. Naomi got eliminated by Mandy Rose after just shy of a minute and a half. Liv Morgan only lasted 8 seconds, so I think that's the shortest elimination. Casey Catanzaro from NXT, Ira Shirai from NXT, uh, Rhea Ripley from NXT UK, and those were the big call-ups of the night, or not the call-ups, but the big, I guess, special entrants.
Hmm.
Let's see. The person who lasted the longest at 56:01 was Natalia. Got eliminated by Nia Jax, and in a close second at 52:23 was Ember Moon. Most eliminations goes to Charlotte Flair uh, at 5 eliminations, and then there were several with 3. Came down to, of course, Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Charlotte got eliminated. Becky Lynch is the champion. More about that coming up on Raw, but it is a good women's match. It is a good women's Royal Rumble. After last year having so many, I guess, I don't want to call them legends, but so many others come up. It's fine to see that we actually have a bunch of current generation women's division wrestlers from all brands come in here. Very very great match, no complaints. Becky Lynch won. Uh yeah, I think that's basically all we can talk about, at least for right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanna go into the details of who's the longest serving wrestler here, I believe. I'm just double checking this. I believe you could technically count Mickey James, but she
Yeah.
left. She left for a while. Technically, it's Alicia Fox, who's been with the company now 11 years. Yeah. So Alicia Fox here was the longest kind of serving WWE competitor here. Although maybe Natalia was earlier. I don't think she was. Maybe she was.
They came in I think they came in around the same time.
2007, 2008. So technically, I mean, we're not talking. There was no Trish. There was no Kelly. Molly Holly or any of the old guard in here. So
Yeah, technically you could count Maria Kanellis because she was around like way before then, like part of
yeah,
the. I think she was part of the Million
Divas.
Dollar Diva Search or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So to be honest, yeah, it was a pretty cool. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks like a pretty stacked uh, card. Okay, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, 24-33, ended with the re-debut, the return of Eric Rowan, who face chokeslammed AJ Styles, allowing Daniel Bryan to get the pinfall. I thought this match was in a death spot after Becky Lynch winning.
Yeah,
And I I don't know why. I don't know why, but I felt like this match could have done with something else in it. I felt like if you're gonna do the Eric Rowan return, the Eric Rowan return, he came out way too early. Like he was out way before the ref took a bump,
yeah,
which was sketchy as hell. Um, and the referee had to pretend that he hadn't seen this giant man turn up at ringside. I felt if you're going to do the Eric Rowan return, and you've done all this stuff where they've been like at the concession stands and they've been brawling, and Daniel's been doing these like entrance, in different places, and you're in a baseball stadium, why not do Falls Count anywhere? Like, why you've got that huge space to play with? Why not play? Why not do Falls Count anywhere in this? You know, um, but hey ho. It was a really cool. I mean, they clearly wanted to go out and do where they were really smart. Brian worked over AJ's arm for the bell lock. Styles worked over Brian's knee for the calf crusher, and AJ hit a couple of brain busters to kind of play the whole concussion angle up a little bit. I say angle, concussion injury.
yeah,
um, but otherwise, this was this was a long match. This was a really long match, and yeah, I just felt like it was different. I felt like it just needed to be something else.
yeah. The ending was basically the whole story of the match. Um, it seems odd on the surface. It seems really odd on the surface why Rowan is teaming with Brian now, or aligned with Brian. But considering that Harper, I think, is still out on injury, they
Mm.
have to do something to keep Rowan on TV. And the Bludgeon Brothers were going absolutely fucking nowhere. So, kind of have him as the huge monster for the heel champion, it kind of makes sense. They could do a hell of a lot worse for Rowan because he wouldn't stand a chance on his own. He needs to be part of some sort of stable or some sort of tag team. So, for what it is, I can kind of see how it works. Um, I'm not going to fault him for it. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help. And that's the big thing that really gets me. It's like he's just kind of there. Functionally, it'll work until Harper comes back, and then it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. But um, yeah, it was what it was. It wasn't their best match, but like you said, is in kind of that death spot. So maybe if the Women's Rumble was earlier, or if the WWE Championship opened it up, might have been a bit of a different story. But it just didn't have that energy to it.
No, it was a flat surprise as well. I thought the fact that he just came out
Yeah,
was a bit weird. Okay. Universal Championship: Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor, defeating Finn by submission with the Kimura in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. In a stark contrast, this was a Paul Heyman. It must have been a Paul Heyman agented match
yeah,
because the spot with Lesnar going chest first into the um, corner of the announce table and bringing up his diverticulitis. This had to be Paul Heyman. This had Paul Heyman's fingerprints all over it. Finn basically just dove like I've never seen
yeah.
some just spam dives on someone continuously. Um, Over and over and over again until he eventually rolled rolled Brock back in the ring, went for the coup de grace, went for the coup de grace, buried his feet right in Lesnar's chest,
Hmm.
like nothing ever before, and then Lesnar just hooks the Kimura on after the two, and we got a Brock meme face out of this. Um, but again, this was telling a story. This was telling us, hey, there's a thing going on. Brock is not completely impervious. Finn obviously didn't come out in the demon gimmick, so there is, I think, the possibility. I still think there is a possibility of us seeing. I think looking at it now, I think there is a possibility with spoilers, Seth winning the Rumble. I think there is a possibility of us seeing Finn versus Seth in a SummerSlam slash WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah, absolutely. That I think is what they're going to go towards. If they're not going to put the title on Strowman, since it looks like they're going to go more towards Seth regaining the championship, because according to I think F4W, Lesnar is not scheduled for either um, Payback or what is it again? Let's see. He's not scheduled for Elimination Chamber or Fast. Oh no, he might be appearing at the next Saudi Arabia event after 35. Uh, let's see. He's definitely doing WrestleMania. Uh, it's it's a strange situation, especially with AEW, where Brock's going to go from here. But I think they're going to take the title off of him off of at Mania, and if they do that, definitely Seth and Balor. Balor looked like $1 million. There was a very, very, very high chance they could have fucked this up and just have Lesnar just completely demolish him, or making Lesnar look weak and overpowering Finn. But I agree with you that Heyman had to have had at least some say in this match, because this was a damn good statement.
Yeah,
Over at Survivor Series, I think. Bryan, let's go back to Bryan versus Lesnar. Lesnar looked strong, but then Bryan came back and he came within mere seconds of winning the championship. This is finally telling the story, and it's a very slow burner that's been going on since probably even before Survivor Series, to where Lesnar is still the monster. He's still the final boss. But like you said, he's not as impervious as what he originally was when he came back. Lesnar can be beat.
yeah,
And I think they're trying to bring that up for Rollins. And I completely agree with you. If Rollins gets the title at Mania, he retains it after the next Saudi's show, we're definitely going to see a big match like SummerSlam or even Mania next year, Balor and Rollins. they're finally building Balor back up to where he was when he won the Universal title. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where they go from here. But yeah, this, for a less than 9-minute match, this to me was better than a WWE Championship match. For all, for better or worse.
Yeah, this was awesome. Really, really good. Finally, finishing off the show. In 57 minutes and 35 seconds, so technically shorter than this Rumble. Seth Rollins won by last eliminating Braun Strowman. Kind of did the Benoit Big Show finish with Braun throwing Seth out. Seth hit the apron and then kind of pulled Strowman over the rope, and then we had I think it was a curb stomp, and then Strowman fell off the apron onto the floor. I think they will probably have Seth beat Strowman at Elimination Chamber in a singles match. I think maybe, I don't know, not sure off the top of my head. Probably the biggest news in this match was, of course, R-Truth was supposed to be number 30, but got beaten up by Nia Jax, who then took his spot. Then eliminated Mustafa Ali, and then took 3 finishers. And this, I will say this, on the week that Brian Alvarez said that he really hoped that WWE's plan for the new year was not going to involve bringing back the kind of shit that was going on in the Attitude Era, where 3 men teamed up on 1 woman to beat her up and put her through a table. And what happened on this show? 3 men teamed up on a woman to eliminate her. So, I mean, as much as you want to say, look, I'm not going to go down the whole domestic abuse angle, because as far as I'm concerned, that was not what this was about. It was just kind of funny that he says this and this is what happened.
Yeah.
I thought this Rumble was fine. I thought it was a bit boring. I think the shocker for me, I had to win this, but Joe disappeared midway through this. I think he was eliminated.
He is eliminated by Mustafa Ali.
Number 14. Oh yes, let's talk about entrant 14. This will lead into the entrant 14 this year. Dean Ambrose.
Oh God.
Practically eliminated in 12 minutes by Aleister Black, and then took the most spectacular Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan-esque bump out of the ring. I think he's rolled over at least 3 or 4 times here.
Yeah, he sold that he sold that black mass like a fucking champ.
Yeah. What did you make of the Rumble?
With the exception of Jeff Jarrett, which I completely popped over. If they have I want them to have Jeff Jarrett versus Elias at Elimination Chamber or Fastlane. But I want Jarrett to come out in his 90s Don't Piss Me Off music. But on Raw, when he actually said slap nuts, that got a huge pop. So I think, Jarrett, I'd like to see Jarrett back in some sort of fashion. But that was a great way to kick it off. With the exception of Jeff Jarrett, there was no other surprise call-ups from anywhere, which it's kind of the opposite of the Women's Rumble, to where at least 2 or 3 past guys Diesel would have been good, DP would have been good. I would say Scott Steiner, but he looks like hell lately.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see PCO come out and his old jobber gimmick. That would have been fucking amazing. But all that being said, for a Rumble that you didn't know who was going to win this year, it still was kind of meh. It was good, but it was meh. The stats, Seth Rollins technically lasted the longest of 43-26. Half of that, I think he was at ringside, so I'm going to give the workhorse of the match, or I'll give the match workhorse award going to Mustafa Ali at 30 minutes flat.
Yeah,
I
that
said
really
this
was impressive.
good.
I was
Yeah,
just saying that's impressive.
with Mustafa Ali, and we was talking about it. I don't know if it was earlier in the show or if it was before the show, but Mustafa Ali tasting the main event, I absolutely love it because it shows that, cruiserweights do have a chance in this quote unquote new era of WWE. Mustafa Ali, he's basically done everything he can on 205 Live. Coming up, he can hang with the heavyweights. So it's good to see him in kind of like this big role. Him being eliminated by Nia Jax, I'll get to Nia Jax later on, but I don't think it hurts him because out of the 5 people who were remaining outside of Nia, he was technically the lowest power level, so somebody had to do it. I don't think it hurts him to do it. In fact, it makes Nia Jax look even more powerful than what she is. But call ups, no exception of Jeff Jarrett, of course. Johnny Gargano out at 6, Pete Dunne out at 17, and Aleister Black at 16. So really, with the exception of those 3, no big surprises except maybe Gargano, and he got a fucking pop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So uh, here's my thing on the Nia Jax. I liked it. And to me, it's starting another like WWE's been all about slow burns as of late. I think this is another slow burn to where they're going to start to slowly incorporate intergender matches. With somebody like Nia Jax, the biggest woman on the women's roster, it's not like they sent out Alexa Bliss to get absolutely ass blasted by everybody. Giggity. Um,
Jesus.
but but you know what I'm saying. Nia Jax, she's the monster of the women's division. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be her. She still looks like $1,000,000 for the elimination, and it shows that even in the post-Attitude Era, in the more PC environment that we are in now, even if it's not the most PG we've ever seen in WWE, they can set up specific matches to where intergender, it'll be amazing. Like Ari said, like Asuka, I've said this many times, she had an intergender match with Minoru Suzuki, I think it's a tag match. She got beat to shit, but it was an entertaining match in Japan. I can't tell if it's from Noah, maybe Michinoku Pro, I can't remember off the top of my head. This is like 10, 15 years ago. But she looks amazing there. She's somebody I could see with an intergender. Nia Jax, Tamina. I would love to see The Rock and Becky Lynch, just to see how the hell that would play out. And of course, Ronda Rousey can go pretty much anybody on the main roster now that she has significant time against Triple H. See back to Mania like 2 years ago. So I think they're starting to move in that direction. It's going to be a not very often thing, nowhere near as often as the Attitude Era. But it's interesting to see where they're going to go from here. But back to the Rumble, Seth Rollins wins. About the only way they could have ended it with anybody against Strowman. Kind of disappointed Joe didn't win, but you can't go wrong with somebody like Rollins. He's a workhorse, obviously there. So yeah, let's God
Jesus.
damn it, Reverend.
You are popular today,
Oh yeah.
sir. Okay, last couple of bits of news in terms of the WWE 48,001. Yeah, apparently Dave using this, saying that there are only 34,000 paid in attendance, with another 6,000 papered. That's a figure, to say the least. But hey, it's still it's still impressive to pack a baseball stadium, I guess, with that many people.
The one thing I will say about the show that they've done amazing on this show was like the AR 3D graphics.
Yes.
When they did it at Mania or any show with a big ass Tron, it looks hokey as shit. And I completely blame Kevin Dunn for this because it is like since he's the main producer guy, I have to put it on him. It looks like shit when you have Trons. But when you're running a show in a stadium like where they were at, I know is for the
Chase
Phoenix
Field.
Chase Field. Thank you. They changed fucking like stadium names so quick it's hard to distinguish one from the other. What the fuck? But in a venue like Chase Field, or I'd even say Madison Square Garden, where you don't have the luxury of a big Tron, where you don't have the luxury of, no, a big stage like that, that's where the AR can start to come in, because it doesn't detract from the live crowd, but at the same time, it gives a little more production value to the TV that would have been completely lost. You know, with a Tron compared to no Tron, less is more in that kind of situation. So great to see the way that they implemented it here. Very good. Um, I hope they don't bring him back for Mania, because it's going to be a huge friggin' stage, and I'm kind of hyped to see what they're going to do for Mania. But yeah, this is the first time that the whole AR thing I'm pleasantly shocked at.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
No. It's fine. You can talk about alternative graphics as much as you want. All right. Now I believe you have watched Raw, but not SmackDown.
Right.
I've watched neither. So should we do like the main talking points from Raw rather than doing a jaunt through?
Sure. The top of the night for me. Well, first off, gotta go with the opening, because this does kind of play into the Dean Ambrose sort of thing. The first note I have on my page was, "It's weird watching this replay at 1.5 speed." Like, it sounds a little bit off until you get used to it.
Yeah.
Seth does a good promo. Hey, Chow, Daniel Bryan Lesnar's there. Dean comes out. Great promo from everybody. Dean gets pinned in the opening match. He tries to say something. Nia Jax comes out. They have this stare down. So before Dean leaves, if he does leave, I'd like to see Dean Ambrose versus Nia Jax. I hope they're going towards that, because that would be a fairly entertaining match. Other notes, Slapnuts comes out again. He does a duet with Road Dogg, but them get laid out. Let's see, what are my other ones? My big top point of the night. After the Raw Women's title match between Ronda and Bayley, Becky Lynch comes out. Ronda pulls the best fucking promo she has ever pulled. Usually, I like to harp on her because she doesn't know how the hell to talk into a mic, at least in a pro wrestling sense. When you're an MMA and you're gassed, you can kind of talk away from the mic, but it's a completely different mic skill with pro wrestling. She fucking nailed it. This is the intense Ronda Rousey that we needed to see. 4.75 out of 5 for a fucking promo. It's about time you start to learn how to actually talk like it.
Black Skull and Harper could learn from this, is what you're trying to say.
Most definitely. Most fucking definitely. I mean, this still fires me up. This promo, you have no idea how hyped I am for this.
No, I haven't heard it, so I will have to up after the show. Okay. Important things, obviously, of course, both Becky Lynch and Seth have opted for the Raw side of things. So Seth will be challenging for the Universal title. Becky will be challenging for the WWE Raw Women's title. That's the most important thing. Let's talk a little bit about Ambrose. Number 14 in the Rumble, and apparently going to be gone by April.
Yeah, apparently he's already putting in his notice. According to reports from various reporters, Meltzer and the like, he's tired of all the hokey shit that they've been doing with his character. Which is weird, because if he goes to the indie scenes, I think Joey Ryan was either talking about him or a Tommy, where he's like, well, if they think they have hokey shit in WWE, just imagine the first indie that books them against me.
Yeah.
So, with somebody like Ambrose, and especially with Tommy, but staying with Ambrose for now, what more is there for him to do? He's won the WWE Championship. He's won the Intercontinental. I think he's a Grand Slam winner at this point. There's really not much more for him to do, and especially with the way his character has been since the breakup from the Shield, he's kind of been this wacky sort of guy, and that's not Dean Ambrose. Now, granted, there's a chance that this is still a work, and they're going to eventually have him, I guess, kind of go more Jon Moxley than anything. But I would not blame him if, when his contract comes up in April, if he jumps ship to AEW. In fact, I think it'd be pretty much good for him, because he's in a position where he's done everything he can in WWE. the top spot's being taken over by guys again like Styles, like Bryan, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Mustafa Ali's on the rise. So it's one of those things to where does he fit in? And outside of the upper mid card, he really doesn't.
He's the 16th Grand Slam winner.
Okay.
So he is a Grand Slam winner. So yeah, I agree. I think his time is up really in WWE. You know, it's a shame, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's nothing against him. I will not blame him for leaving because, the money is good and all, but there's only so much that you can do before you're like, okay, I want to do something else. And Dean Ambrose has always been that kind of person. He's always been, I don't want to say, a little bit against the grain. He's definitely not Bobby Roode in any sense of the word, and that joke just went over everybody's head. But anyways, um, but no, he's always been one of those guys. He walks to the beat of his own drum. Always has, always will. If he feels like it's time to head out and start exploring other avenues, especially if he saved up enough money, is what I think he has, considering he doesn't seem like the guy who'd blow it all on sports cars and fucking $5,000 suits and shit like that.
No,
He seems like somebody who like has a head on his shoulders. You know, I don't think he could do any wrong, like going outside. The question is, where is he going? Is it going to be New Japan? Is it going to be AEW? Could he show up in Ring of Honor? He'll probably make at least one appearance in CZW as John Moxley. Uh, it's another one of those let's wait and see how this plays out sort of things.
I
But
mean, I mean, he could definitely pull a Pillman. You know, he could definitely show up to somewhere, get a mic, and cut a promo where he just drops f bombs and
yeah,
you know,
and for Ambrose that makes sense. He is basically our generation's Brian Pillman. He's maybe may not be the high flyer that Pillman was, flying Brian Pillman, but he's got this kind of, loose cannon sort of gimmick.
yeah,
Whoever made the I can't remember if it's Strymon, but whoever made the Dean Ambrose Titantron to the tune of Brian Pillman, um, that's exactly correct. That's who Dean Ambrose is as a character. So I would love to see that, to be honest.
yeah. I think it's one of those things where you look at how long the Shield has gone on for. I think it is a kind of a time to say goodbye. I would love. Um, I might actually end up doing it myself. Someone to create a Leave the Memories Alone with all of the shitty pay-per-view finishes that Dean Ambrose has had to endure, um, including the exploding television monitor being
Yeah,
pedigreed by Triple H, um, being um, being beaten by Brock Lesnar inexplicably in a no DQ match. Yeah, that needs to leave the memories alone montage video. I think to just hone that point in. But who knows? There are some people out there that believe that this is all a work. Particularly because it was initially released in the Torch, Pro Wrestling Torch, and then WWE
yeah.
picked up the story. But again, like Meltzer has said, he doesn't believe there's any reason for the Torch to lie, unless WWE slipped them a load of money. Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
It's very possible with all the talk about certain people, maybe the revival, Dolph Ziggler, Hideo Itami wanted to leave, and with the prospect of AEW becoming more than just vaporware and putting out big money for people like Jericho and whatnot, WWE might be pulling a fast one just to kind of play that hype into their favor.
Mm.
Just try to take the wind out of the sails of, oh my god, everybody's going to jump ship from WWE to AEW, which that's obviously not going to be the case, except for a few cases. But with that, and them wanting to offer big money for people to stay and not to jump ship, there might be a little bit to it for it being a work. But I don't see it being a work. I think Ambrose is going to be gone at the end of April.
Yeah, I think that's the sad truth. Okay, SmackDown. I know you haven't watched it. I haven't watched it, but I do know that the big talking point about this show is Daniel Bryan's eco-friendly belt.
That is a sexy fucking championship. Usually with custom belts, I'm completely against it. The Cena spinner belt, the US title, I can kind of see it kind of went with the gimmick, but it still looks shit. The spinner WWE championship needs to die in a fucking fire if it hasn't already. They need to completely eliminate all traces of that goddamn belt. But with all that said, there only special cases do custom championships work. This is one of those cases. It's not a complete redesign like what we saw with the Smoking Skull, the Smoking Bull, or especially Jeff Hardy's TNA championships.
Oh dear lord, no.
It's still a championship belt, but with the materials that's made out of, it still looks fucking amazing. I would buy that for $100 off of WWE.
Oh wow.
I don't know. But if they sell it, I'll buy one, even if it's just wood grain paneling instead of actual wood. But about the closest thing I could say to this is I think it's Matt Taven's current run in ROH as the quote-unquote ROH World Champion. It's kind of like in that sense, but I think WWE's pulling it off way better. Not just from a character standpoint, but obviously from the actual belt standpoint. You can tell that there's actual care going into that, so I fucking love it.
I'm just having a look now. There does not appear to be a wooden version of the WWE belt yet, but I mean, there you go. So who knows? Who knows though? So maybe we'll see one eventually.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Let's hope for the best on that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We're in this. We're 7 minutes.
One more thing. We have a new United States champion.
We do. R-Truth is the new United States champion, and we have a new Jobber champion because I forgot to mention it. So last week we made the call that eliminations in the Royal Rumble would count towards the Jobber Championship. So if I go back to my Royal Rumble here, so Dean Ambrose was our inaugural champion to Seth, who then lost it to Drew McIntyre. So Drew McIntyre did eliminate several people here. I'm just trying to get the elimination order here. So eliminated 11th from the Rumble, and the first elimination by by Drew McIntyre after 3 seconds. Xavier Woods is your new Jobber champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations to Drew McIntyre.
It's jumped brands. It's jumped brands already. Who can, it's now on SmackDown, guys. We're not going to have to keep it. Now we're going to have to watch SmackDown. If we didn't need a reason to watch already, now we have one. Okay. All right. I don't know where Too Many Quarks is, but goddamn you, sir. So every week we ask the audience to send us suggestions for. Actually, let me just check if he's online because he wasn't online earlier.
Yeah, I don't think he's on.
No, he's not online now. He's missing this. So every week we ask people to send us shows to watch. We have watched Body Slam from Denmark. We have watched $5 Wrestling, and this week we watched. I sort of watched, and Samoan Driver sort of watched. Best in the Yard 4. A promotion, a show that was put on by several promotions, VTW, UW, DBW, and KBW.
And also NUW.
Oh. Okay, there we go. Yep, missed that one. Just to give everyone an idea, if you haven't seen the show, it's available for free on YouTube if you want to go and find it. Just to give you a bit of an audio idea, this is pretty much a summary of the show in about 5 to 10 seconds of audio. Okay, here we go. This is a kind of preview of the show. Yeah, the goddamn noisiest ring in the fucking world. To summarize this show, this was a show that had really good production levels. It was like a double-edged sword, this whole show. It was like there were points where it had really good production levels. Like the opening video package was pretty damn cool. Definitely hit moves at the right points in the audio. I kind of like that. I hate when people just find like a piece of music and they just put wrestling clips over it and don't try and sync things up with the music. They had replays on this show, which was pretty cool. They had nameplates as well. They had title cards. So it was all pretty good, pretty cool. However, the production was awful. Like, there were times when they'd show a match card and it would cut and it'd be like, okay, everyone ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Play the guy's music. And this is on the video that you've edited down. They had one camera which was awful. It's like in this half grayscale color kind of dim lighting, and then midway through the show, they cut to like some other guy who's filming mobile. Picture quality is better. I mean, come on, guys. It's interesting. The wrestling. I will say this. I will say this much. I liked this show better than I liked $5 wrestling.
Yeah, they at least had some solid work going into this going into this entire production. What I've seen of it, that's not saying much, but
no, like to say you're better than $5 wrestling, it's not a lot, but it's an important step. it's an important hurdle to cross. Okay, so opening video shows some wrestling. I'm slightly concerned because in the yard, but a lot of the wrestling is taking place indoors. So I'm slightly concerned that this might not be an actual yard. So we cut to an opening. There's just the stage setup is amazing. It's like 3 pieces of wood. It looks like community, which is always makes me laugh. So then the promo audio plays, and there's a lot of talk about balls and ecstatic, which is a guy who then comes out. He's in this is a ladder match between him and a guy Victor Van to Childish Gambino. The only thing to really say about this match initially is the word "wow" is said a lot. This is like woo chat at like full macro capacity. It's just like everyone is just like wow, 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 wow. So yeah, if you imagine that. One of the things as well that I find about these shows, and it goes for a lot of shows, is that there are. I love the fact that early on, not even at the end of my first paragraph, do I write the words "ring sounds bockety as fuck." So yeah. So the referee here checks the boots for both competitors, right? It's a ladder match. What are you do? Why are you checking for foreign objects in a ladder match? I don't. I get that the idea is just the idea of checking the wrestlers to get them last minute, right? But this show has literally just started. It's like, how last minute were these instructions? So I didn't write many notes on these. I think this was the because I worked out. So there's commentary, but it's coming from a table that's like a good few feet away, and I don't know whether or not they were recording it and broadcasting it live. I didn't know if it was PA. I couldn't work it out what it was supposed to be, but it basically wasn't ordered. But eventually, I figured out what this match was about. Did you figure out what this match was about, Samoan Driver?
No, sir.
No. Okay, right. So it's a ladder match. So there's no title on the line here. Instead, what is on the line is Van Pelt's balls.
What?
Van Pelt's balls are apparently hanging above the ring in like a plastic freezer bag kind of deal. right? So the immediate moment I hear this, right, there is one thing that's going through my mind. I'm like, if this thing happens, this match is automatically 5 stars. Okay, so right again, so the crowd is basically so. This is a kind of thing that happens in yard tarts. It's like it's they're in the talk shit at them. So there's lots of just talking shit here. There's an "This is awesome" chant when nothing is happening in the ring. Um, Commentary finally gets some sort of hint and starts shouting. There's a half crab with the ladder. There's some psychology because he can't now climb. Um, Ecstatic is so Ecstatic. This is again the other thing with production on this show. So Ecstatic starts climbing the ladder, and he's in the foreground, but in the background you can just see Van Pelt casually walking around, setting up ladders, setting up tables and shit, just on the camera. I'm like, dude, just like frame this better. Just like turn around, walk something. So finally, Van Pelt gets Ecstatic gets a chair, and he puts it on Van Pelt, and he's about to do a running senton onto the chair, right? And then
Right.
sorry, he puts it on Ecstatic. Sorry, Van Pelt puts the chair on Ecstatic. Sorry, I gotta get this the right way around. Puts it on Ecstatic. Van Pelt's gonna do a senton onto the chair, onto Ecstatic. Ecstatic then does the. I think Abyss did this spot so many times, but the spot where the person then turns the chair onto its edge so that you're gonna crotch yourself on the chair. And Van Pelt crotches himself on the chair, but of course, he's got no balls. So he no sells this move, and I'm like, this is it. This is the best match ever. This is what wrestling fans have been waiting for. This is like now and being eliminated. Can't be eliminated. He's only leg, so both feet can't touch the floor. This is the best thing ever. Ah, this was so good. Anyway, right, so there, I wrote down here. This is amazing. If only WWF had the balls, to, pun intended, to follow through on choppy pee. Again, this would have won them under my opinion. Match grinds to a halt. Ecstatic puts. Oh, this is so bad. Ecstatic puts Van Pelt on a ladder, goes to the top rope, and by the way, this ring. They've got a ring, but it's not a proper ring. They've built this ring themselves. The apron is literally about, I would say, a foot off the ground.
Maybe.
Maybe. The top rope is about 3-4 feet off the ground. Like it's not like we're not talking like top rope here. Goes to the top rope. He does a corkscrew senton. Van Pelt moves, and Ecstatic eats all of this ladder on the small of his back. I don't know how old this kid is, but he is going to have a fucking hunch when he's going to be a fucking hunchback when he grows up. So, despite this, Ecstatic gets up first. He's just taken a ladder to the back, and he's first up. He goes and gets some sawhorses and a bit of sets them up. Then Van Pelt gets some handcuffs Ecstatic. He then kisses him. Ecstatic then takes a bump, and Van Pelt gets. Like, if this is not enough, Van Pelt then offers the hand to Static. We get a hug, and then Pelt then cuts a promo, opens the bag with his balls in, offers a bollock to Ecstatic, and they each in turn eat one bollock. I don't know what this was, but it occurs. If you honestly, it's like the first 20 minutes of this show. I would go and watch this because it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious, and it was really well done. And I love the fucking. This is only the first 20 minutes of the show. So I should explain what happened with this show. So basically, I ended up leaving this until the last minute, and I should. So the next two matches, I don't actually know really what happened because I was doing other things whilst. I do know there was a singles match between Dirty DeSico and Caleb Cross that I can only describe to you as being really, really noisy. Or literally all you could hear on this show was just the ring. Like you couldn't hear commentary, you couldn't hear the crowd, you could just hear the ring. The ring was the loudest, most obnoxious thing on this show. It's imagine someone for like 3.5 hours just getting two wood panels and just throwing them out of a bus for like 3 hours and a half. That's what this match sounded like. There was then a 2-on-3 handicap match, which made me wish that Undisputed Era and DIY had happened, because 3-on-2 handicap matches are great. This match was sort of good, but it was also terrible because the point of a 2-on-3 handicap match, obviously, you've got the two faces you've got the three heels. So it's up to the faces to do something to try and get the man advantage back, right? And then the great thing is then the heat then comes back when the third man then recovers and brings that resets those odds, right? So they do this in this match, and there is then again this spot does my head in. So there's a moment where they just completely leave the ring and they walk over to this bungalow house kind of thing. It's like cabin. And this dude climbs, there's like a bunch of people brawling below. And this guy climbs up to the top of the roof, right? And he's going to do like a dive or something. He's been doing dives. He did a shooting star press, like Paul London's springboard shooting star press. It's like, holy fuck, dude, do not do this move ever again. You nearly killed yourself on this. And he was so impressed that he didn't. So he's about to do the dive. And then the third man then comes back and throws him off. This would have been an amazing spot if he had literally popped his head up from behind the roof, ran across the tiles and threw him off the roof. But no, the camera shows him clearly left side of the screen where all the action is happening. It's not like all the action is happening on the right and he's on the left. He's on the left and all the action is happening on the left. You see him climb up the same ladder and throw the guy off the top. I'm like, oh, this match. And then, of course, the heels then win. And the faces then challenge them to a six. Because, of course, that's what faces do. They're like, oh, you know what? We need to have a man advantage. We need to openly admit that we can't beat you, even though you're dirty cheating. So, yes, those two matches, they were noisy as hell, and they were all right. They weren't great. So the other thing that goes on in this show is every single match card has some sort of tagline to it. So the next match is Matt Maverick versus Brandon Castelli. Right? The tagline for this match is Nana's Sweet Tribulations. This was not explained at any point who was, why these were tribulations, and why they were of the sweet kind. So Brandon Castelli comes out. You thought he was from the year 2000. I think you stopped watching the match. I quickly worked out this guy. He's wearing blue tights with kind of black motifs and tassels, and he's got like this grey streak in his hair. He, as you will later find out during this match, is a Kenny Omega mark, clearly. Matt Maverick, maybe this is where it comes from. He comes out with another dude who's got, like, I guess his dude is that he's like a frat boy. He's got a red plastic cup, and his valet is like filling up the cup. But the jug they come out with has got barely any liquid in it at all. It's like they've just been drinking this shit backstage, and they've got like half a cup left. So So both guys are in the ring, and then some music plays, and the nameplate says Corey Graves. It's not that Corey Graves. Just before you think.
Oh, thank God.
It's not that Corey Graves. No, it's a dude in a red shirt, and then another dude comes out who's got a belt and he's kind of wearing Velveteen Dreams glasses, and he just looks in the camera and goes, "Hey everyone, meet each other. This is now a triple threat," and then walks off. No idea who this guy was. Um, this match was awful. This was what happens when you put three guys together who have no idea, who have no fun. Like, this was just move after move after move after, just like, what do you want to do? Hit me with a knee. What do you want to do? Hit me with another knee. What do you want to do? Hit me with another knee. There were a couple of nice dives to the outside. Brandon, this was hilarious. Oh my god! Again, this just goes to show you, like, when you think of an idea and you don't try it out, and then it just falls on its face. So Brandon is trying to do this thing where there's a chair in the ring, and he's trying to kind of put the chair up, rest on his arm on the chair so the chair stays upright, and then lean his face against the chair so that Corey can then do a running drop kick into the chair into his face. Contrived, but yet I can see it working in a match, right? The problem is that the seat of the chair keeps unfolding and donking him on the head, so he has to keep pushing it back, and then it comes back and donks him again, so he pushes back. Eventually, Corey just gives up with the spot and just whacks him straight on top of his fucking head with the chair in 2018. Chair shook his head. Please no. Please no. Finish is Corey catches Matt Maverick midair with an F5 and then just pins him for the 3. So neither of the men who were advertised in this. So well done there. Standard WWE booking. I'm sort of sad that you tapped out at this point. Did you tap out before this match or during?
I can't remember what. I think I got about halfway through the video and I was like, nope, I'm done. Ring the damn bell, ref. I can't go on any further.
Technical submission. Okay, I'm sort of sad that you. So the next match is the Balance of Chaos versus the Heretic. The tagline for this match is "The Light." Right. So we cut to a dark room where there is a guy doing kind of kendo stick / poi stuff with toy lightsabers with the sound effects on, dressed as Kylo Ren.
The fuck? Where was this immediately after I tapped out of this?
I don't know.
Must have been.
Let me see if I can find it for you. Oh god, hang on. Yeah, that heads around about 1:46, 1 hour 46 minutes on this. If you want to see this, 1 hour 46.
Yeah, let me pull this up. This 146. I've got to see this for myself. Oh, just past it. Just fucking no. Like, are they in an actual restaurant? Because that's like some checkerboard tile shit going on.
No, they're in like a garage that's like nearby. I don't know. Like there's a garage nearby. Anyway, so like he does these weird spinny things with the fucking right, and so then it cuts back into that dark room, and there's another guy, and he's got these LED strips on his face, and he's like all lit up and all green, and then they both come out, right? So you got to do this dressed up like Kylo Ren, and you got to do this basically the green version of Vader, right? So what are these two like? I mean, okay, it's cringy as fuck, but it looks badass, right? It looks pretty fucking cool. You know, Kylo Ren's out. I mean, sure, you're gonna be dressed as Kylo Ren, and sure, you'd be looking like Vader, but you stand out on this show. You know, you stand out and you look pretty fucking decent, right? So what do these two guys do? They get to the ring and they take all their fucking gear off. Like the guy takes the Kylo Ren mask and hood off, and he's just wearing regular wrestling gear. And this guy who's got this Vader setup going on takes that shit off. So these two just now look just like any other guys on this show.
This
Any
is
other guys.
this is literally what Vince thinks Evil's gimmick is.
This shit. This was fucking terrible. Right. So if we couldn't get any more edgy, the Heretic Anthem plays by Slipknot, and then we go into something completely different. I've got to point this out, right? Because I think this is absolutely true, right? The only people in wrestling that are worshippers of the devil, right? That's a wrestling standard, right? I think the only other person who reads is possibly anyone who Truth Martini. I can't think of anyone else who reads, right?
Right.
There's no other gimmick for it anyway. So they come out, they've got the gimmick, they've got like a Bible with the cover taken off, and they're like reading it, and then one guy just like he does the Gangrel thing, but rather than doing the blood bit, he just lets it all just pour out of his mouth. Look pretty fucking cool. We cut to the ring, and the ring is now covered in a blue tar. So if this was wrestling roulette, I would immediately be putting all of my chips down on the square that reads, "There'll be light tubes / tacks in this match, and no one else will fucking be a part of it." So again, this match is one of those things where you question everything. So the Heretics get in the ring, they're face to face with their opponents. They then turn around. And this was not like a punishment thing. This was not like they turned around to like let them have the first shot. They turned around to be Pearl Harbored by the Balance of Chaos. I don't know why. Someone gets out what I thought was a barbed wire bat, and then hear commentary say that it's actually a bar covered in Christmas. I don't know whether that's going to hurt more or not.
I'd say probably maybe a bit more, because that's glass that's sticking out of there. You can kind of gimmick barbed wire, you can't gimmick Christmas lights. Like, if you used to go one step further up, you'd have it covered in fucking Legos.
Oh god. There's a really fucking awesome spinning crescent kick somewhere done by I think one of the guys from the Heritage. Again, this is one of those things where the guys from the Balance of Chaos are dressed exactly like I had no idea. They eventually then get a barbed wire board, and it looks like legit. Then again, this was production. There is 3 minutes where there is action going on in the ring, and I can tell there's action going on in the ring because I can fucking hear it. I can't see it because they are showing us a shot of some lad's belly. Like literally, his belly just takes up half of the shot. How you could not know this for 3 minutes, I do not know. And I was watching this on like double speed at this point, and it was still painful. So I should point out that these guys were using the kind of plastic tables that you would use at like you have sales.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, I've been to a boot sale several times and had to set up one of these tables, and every single time I dread doing it because they are the most complicated things ever. They have got so many like little catches and things that you have to put together and make sure you put them in the right way so the table stays up. Doing this in the middle of a wrestling match, I could not imagine. They're also hard and sturdy as fuck, right? They are not designed for I mean, okay, so like wrestling tables, they're designed so that like if a 250-pound man jumps through it, right in the middle, it will break. These things are designed so that if you put something in the middle and just slam it down on the table, it stays up.
Yeah.
And these guys were not 250-pound wrestlers. So bear that in mind. There was a pile driver straight in the middle of one of these. The, yeah. Someone gets an umbrella and does the Jack Gallagher umbrella dive spot. They then wrap the umbrella back up into its pointy form, and then this is not like wait. So when you would do this, you would probably I think Marty did. You just whack. You use it like a thing. You whack it into the guy's stomach.
Yeah.
With the long end. No, in this case, this guy uses it like a fencing sword and drives it straight into this guy's stomach, point end first. That
Jeebus.
had to fucking suck.
Yeah.
Ah, double awesome bomb through a table to the outside, and then some lad runs, hits an RKO, and then puts someone else onto the cover. I believe it was the Balance of Chaos one. There were no tacks or light tubes, and why the fuck was there? I don't know.
Are you questioning life at this point?
At this point, it was one of those things where I was like, right, I don't know what this show is, but I'm just accepting it. Our next match is billed as a Storm of Health. It is three guys, I believe, who are known as Uzi Tillo. This was what was on the match card. Uzi Tillo, Tyler Actkin, I don't know how to pronounce that word, and Zach Hellhound Romy. So the first guy that comes out is again. Let me see if I can find a timestamp because you have to see this. Hang on, let's see if I can get it to maximize this and a decent portion of this entrance. I'm skipping so much. Okay. Go to. Okay, go to 2:12:54.
2:12:54.
Yeah. And just press play.
At 2:12:54, I am at 2:12:44.
Okay, yeah, you should be able to press left, and that should skip you 5 seconds. Oh, right, and
What in the hell? Are these guys stoned? Wait, somebody else is coming out. Why do you take off the helmet? You don't fucking take off the helmet. And why are you doing the Aerostar gimmick? Just why?
So let me just explain. Some lad in orange rabbit ears and straight up just lights a ball of flash paper with a barbecue spark.
Is he supposed to be like a fucking moth to fire? I don't understand.
I think he's supposed to be Flammarion.
That makes okay. I
think-
gotta see that now.
I think he's supposed to be Flammarion. I think. Or Flammarion. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Flareon. Yeah, but I know who you're talking about.
The Pokemon. So this is Uzi Tillo. I don't know why he's called Uzi Tillo when I don't know. I don't get it. So just to point out, the two lads that are there, the guy on the left is the guy that was wearing the Kylo Ren outfit, and the guy on the right was the guy that was wearing the badass Vader looking outfit. So just imagine, you go from Kylo Ren to looking like a mixture of Elias and TJ Parker. Looks terrible, doesn't it? Anyway.
Yeah.
So next out is Zach Ronig, apparently not Ronnie, Ronig, who seriously, I mean, let me try to find a name. Yeah, just go to 2:14:14.
Okay, I see him.
Yeah. So this dude is wearing trunks and a leather jacket that I swear is heavier than.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I'm more offended by the guy on the right.
Wearing the t-shirt that just says filth.
Filth. Like,
Going.
not even the pentagram sweatpant trunks. Look, just just why? Is that a semen stain on his left thigh? Just what is life at this point? At least the wrestler, he kind of looks like a very super young Finn Balor slash Prince Devitt. He at
Yeah.
least has a look going for him, with the exception of that blank championship belt.
Yeah.
But just go, guy on the right, just go home. Just go home, smoke a little weed.
He
Watch some
probably already
adults.
has. Okay, so the commentary then goes mad. Like I don't know if this was supposed to be a singles, but they're like, "Oh my god, he's here, he's here!" And then the next lad comes out, who is Tyler Storm, who you can see at. See where we can get a good shot of Tyler Storm. Uh, hang on, look, these long ass shots. Oh,
Let's see
hang on.
here.
I'm still going. I'm at 22:15, 32:15, 35.
2:15:35.
Yeah, you can even go 34 if you want to see him make his.
See here.
But this
More
dude.
black, more leather. Is he like Mad Max meets the Phantom of the Opera meets the
uh,
Terminator?
I mean, heck of a lot of charisma here, but so this is what I will do. This is what I wrote here. There is zero muscle in this room. Like Uzi Tillo is getting a bit of a gut. Zach he is all bone and no meat. Uh, and the very same. I can't, when Tyler Storm came out, maybe this guy is going to be like shredded. He looks like he's kind of taking the games. You know. So this match surprised the fuck out of me because I'd seen one really shit match. This was really good. This was three guys who clearly had been in the ring at some point with each other at one point. Um, they have their fundamentals. They've got really good ring working. They are just a little bit sloppy in places. They worked really fucking hard. Zach worked so hard. Uzi Tillo should not be in a wrestling ring, in my opinion. He is way too large to be doing the shit that he's doing. There were times that he did sunset flips and he took a straight back bump. And I was like, oh my god, dude. At one point, Zach hits a C4 and Uzi Tillo has this look on his face as he's like just opened his eyes after doing the front flip, looking like it like terrified, like he'd just been on like a roller coaster that went backwards at 90 miles an hour. Zach almost misses a dive and almost goes neck first on the apron. There's a weird spot where Uzi Tillo gets water. Oh god! So this was the other thing. So at this point, I noticed that the referee in this match, and for the last couple of matches, he's got a deformed arm, and it was just like it was on camera for a few seconds, like close up, and as soon as I saw it, I couldn't not. It's one of those things where as soon as you notice it, and it's just sticking out,
Yeah.
literally, I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, it was fine though. I mean, it was just one of those things where you just see it and it's like gone. Yeah, these guys were really kind of they did a sequence. They did. This was kind of like I would say this was like Johnny Gargano and Ricochet, but they just need to time better. Like they knew where to stand, but the person doing the move wasn't confident that the other guy knew where to stand. If you
Yeah.
get what I mean, like there'd be moments where like someone was 3 seconds. Um, there was a lot of zombie walking on this show. Like I hate zombie walking. Like if you're gonna walk around, just but you don't need to walk around. Just drop down.
Yeah.
Drop down. Have the other guy pick you up and drag you to the spot. It looks better than you just like walking around like something out of Dawn of the Dead. Um, Tyler. So all these guys, the wrestling on the covered in mud. Um, Finish was really weird. I think Zach went up to the top rope. Astillo is on the top rope. They both go through the table. Uzi makes the pin. There's a respect spot after the match. Everyone worked really hard. This was like the first thing. You know what? Get these three guys on Chikara, and they could, they wouldn't tear the house down, but they'd get some good bits and pieces. These guys are really good. Zach Daniels versus Novan, which was taglined as Sinister Intent and Destruction.
I have this pulled up. The guy on the right. I like his shtick. I haven't seen this match, but I like the cut of this guy's jib already.
So his entrance is there's a coffin. Two druids come out, and basically he comes out as a mix of the Undertaker and Marty Scurll. He's got wings, got the mask, demon mask going. The most awkward part about this is that when Marty does this gimmick, he climbs up the top rope and gets in the ring with the wings on. This guy either could not see a way of getting in the ring with the wings on, so hokey. It's like, dude, just live the gimmick a bit more.
Yeah.
The cameraman audibly asks, hey, can someone move the coffin? Hey, can someone move the coffin? Hey, is anyone going to move the coffin? And then the next guy's music just starts. Zach comes out with a valet. No idea who she is. Was never introduced. She's got some kind of puppet with him that she holds. I don't know.
I think it's the voodoo doll of this the other guy, so
Oh,
I
I
think it's
see.
kind of like the Undertaker's urn sort of thing.
I see. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so the match just gets started straight away. Like they like Novan just jumps him pretty much at the bell. They face off and he just tackles him down. Ring is loud as fuck again. So this was weird. So this was I wasn't sure what the story was going on because it was billed as sinister intent and destruction. So I thought maybe this is going to be like it's quite late on the card. Maybe it's going to be one of the matches where the fucking light tubes and all that kind of shit. But no, this was just a straight wrestling match. The two guys have kind of got gimmicks where they both. I wrote down here the story of this match is taking punishment and breathing really loudly. Zach Daniels, dude, do some cardio, please, because all I could hear throughout this entire match was you just go. That's actually making me out of breath doing that. Oh god, like just wheezing. Like this was not normal breathing. So I was kind of into this. There were tombstones. There were weird finishes. They're basically just trying to just like hit each other and just hit their finishes. The story here. The ref then takes a bump. The girl runs in, does a kill switch. She then gets tombstoned because Novan just no sells this kill switch. Zach then, for no reason, then brings in a guitar. Novan for a slow 2 count.
Yeah, that guitar spot looked it just
Bootleg.
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look great. Novan then gets a tombstone for a weird match, weird spots. It's kind of over it, Just it was a thing. It was kind of cool. I liked these guys have kind of got a gimmick down, and they got some charisma going for them. But the match was just like poorly agented. This was the AJ Styles Daniel. It came at the wrong spot, and the story just didn't make sense for the wrestling that was going on. Okay, we are down to 2 matches. D-Lock versus Rick Rios. I didn't write down the tagline for this.
Outlaws and badasses.
Outlaws and badasses. This was a bad match. I was tempted to write down, this is like some sure, but you're not awful. So terrible, terrible review. So D-Lock is wearing a cowboy hat, and Rick Rios has gear and buddies. They trash talk to start, and then everything brought to the outside, and the referee starts counting. Okay, and D-Lock goes up to the referee and says, "No, don't count us out." And the referee's like, "Okay." So they start brawling on the outside. Rick hits an F5 into a tree and then just disappears. D-Lock gets up, and there is a straight 2 minutes where D-Lock is looking everywhere. I swear this is legitimately looking because there were people like, "No, he's over there." He's like, "Over there. Oh, okay, I'll go this." This was not like I don't think this was a planned spot. He just disappeared. So D-Lock's just looking everywhere for him. He finds him, throws him back to ringside, catches Rick in a triangle choke. Again, this was just awful. D-Lock climbs to the top rope, and he dives off the top rope. It looks like he's trying to hit an elbow drop where he clears his opponent, but still lands the elbow. But instead, it looks like he just misses. So this gets an awesome, this is awesome chart, and a double down, and then the guys just repeat the move and get the 3. This was just awful. This was an awful match. I think this was about as bad as anything I saw. But I think the spot of looking round made up. Okay, I need you to go to. I'm going to get you to go to a because you need to see this because this is possibly the greatest thing in pro wrestling ever. I would say. Okay. So go to 3:16:36 and just pause, and I will tell you when to play. We will watch this moment.
All right.
So this is the main event. This is Judging the Palm. This is Aaron Jones versus Mr. Judgment. Now I have to say this, okay? Aaron's a big lad who basically comes out. He's the babyface. He shouts, "Let's go!" And his opponent is Mr. Judgment. Okay, all right. Get ready for this entrance. Okay, you ready? Press play now. So there's some smoke, kind of coming out here from the entrance.
There's the music.
And there's the druids there with some nooses that they.
Oh God! It's Hangman Page, Michael.
2 druids, and then hang on, I'm building this up. Oh, come on, dude.
Kind of digging this music though. Kind of has like a 90s Japan feel.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. This is the Mordecai we deserved.
Right, so the only way I can describe this is imagine Maddox from the best webpage of the internet with a grey beard dressed as a pope. Like, this is the greatest thing in professional wrestling and the worst thing in professional wrestling at the same time.
Somebody needs to make this, like, I hope this guy needs to go, like, he needs to go to the ROH dojo and bring this gimmick.
So, wait, to level with me here, right? Do you not think that Mr. Judgment is simultaneously the most intimidating and least intimidating name in professional?
Yes,
Like,
because Mr. Judgment, and you mix it with the actual character, looks fucking amazing. Like, this guy has a look about him.
but at the same time,
But,
he's called Mr. Judgment.
yes,
Not Father Judgment or Reverend Judgment or
Deacon or
Deacon
Bishop.
Judgment. Deacon Judgment would be amazing. Ah. So, okay. So, yeah. So, both guys are wearing black and yellow. The So you've probably seen a lot of wrestling matches,
Yeah.
and you've seen a lot of opening spots, right? So common opening spots, trash talking, you know, uh, column, column elbow tie up, that's the kind of comment. Right. This is the first time I've ever seen this. The opening to this match is an exploder into the corner. So that's pretty much that was a new thing for me. Mr. Judgment basically just dominates the match. Aaron gets some comeback, hits a nice scissors kick at the spinneroonie.
I will say though, that was a pretty. I just saw the exploder. That's a pretty good textbook exploder right there.
Yeah, I get the vibe here that Mr. Judgment is like he must be a trainer. He must be a trainer, and like he just used this gimmick to get his trainees over.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling that beard is a little bit dyed, but I think he is probably one of the older people on this card. Still can't get over Mr. Judgment. I posted it on Twitter and I said, "This is what happened if Christopher Daniels full angel." So at this point in the match, all I can hear is this kind of screeching sound, right? And I look up, and in the background, two of the lads are taking the top rope down with a wrench. Like, and literally, it looks, because I was watching this in 2x speed, it looks like two guys using one of those mine carts that have the lever to make it go, and they're like pumping it up and down. So it looks fucking hilarious in the background. So they take I thought initially they were fixing the ring because the top rope was broken, but no, they're actually taking the top rope out so that Mr. Judgment can use this as a weapon. Banks ducks the turnbuckle and cleans house with a dive on the mall. Mr. Judgment hits a weird angle slam for a 2, then inexplicably turns on his two young cohorts and does it to both of them at the same time. Aaron recovers, hits him with the turnbuckle hook, and then does a really bad moonsault off the second for the 3 count. And then the show ends with everyone singing happy birthday. This was a show. This was like, I will say this much, okay? The first half of this show was bollocks. Like, I would watch the opener for the sheer hilarity of two guys fighting over balls. I think that's hilarious. I think that is wrestling. That's what wrestling should be.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Fuck the 2 matches that came after. Fuck the Matt Maverick and Brandon Kelly match. Fuck. I mean, watch the Balance of Chaos versus the Heretics purely for the entrance because it's click one for your cringe collection. The triple threat was awesome. Still, they worked really fucking hard. The entrance with the flash paper was fucking hilarious. Zach Daniels versus Novum was a... Do not watch D-Lock versus Rick Rio. Do not give them a match. And watch Aaron Jones versus Mr. Judgment purely for Mr. Judgment's entrance. It's the best fucking thing in professional wrestling I've seen in a very long time since Joey Ryan was resurrected back from the dead by a bunch of penises. So that's that. Now, there doesn't appear to be anyone about this week, which is probably due to the fact that I imagine most people
Yeah.
not like Samoan Drive on goes and get up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday. So what we might be doing is next week we might bring the show uh, forward a couple of hours. We'll bring it forward to midday, just so there's more people about. Obviously, you'll probably only hear about this announcement on YouTube probably. So that's what we'll probably do next week. So there's no one about. I don't think there's anyone about. If there is anyone around who wants to suggest something, then,
I got a show for you.
then speak up. Otherwise, we're gonna take Samoan Driver's suggestion.
Yeah. Might be a nice little cross promotion opportunity here.
Go on then, man. Go on. What is the show that you want us to watch?
This Sunday, InsomniacGamers.net.
Oh shit!
Yes, the IG anniversary show Rasuru King Damu 2.
Okay.
3 hours. And let me just hook you up with this card right here. We have a triple threat #1 contender match to start it off. We have a Street Fighter match, not a street fight, but a Street Fighter, basically a KO match.
Okay.
A mystery opponent.
Ooh.
Singles contest. A Women's Championship #1 contender match, triple threat. Tables, ladders, and chairs. And then a special match that I was just privy to by the owner of Insomniac Gamers that is simply Coke versus Pepsi. Our championship matches, we have our Always Open League Championship, which the way we do it, we have all of our chat members on one division, then we have like a bunch of video game characters in another division. This is basically our TV title where people vote to see from 1 week from one division, the next week the other division, who faces who, and it's basically a TV title.
Nice.
We also have our tag title match, women's title match, Icons championship match, and then of course our heavyweight championship match, which is the 4th meeting behind these guys. They met during our G1 Climax tournament, met in the finals, met at like Chapter 70 5 weeks ago, and now they're meeting in the main event of IG Anniversary. So this rivalry is coming to an end finally on Sunday. It's 3 hours. I suggest you watch that, Red, and give me your thoughts.
What time is this on the coast?
On the East Coast, it will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. No, it'll be 6 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast.
6 p.m. Eastern. That will translate, I think, to 11 p.m. I will, and that is on.
That is on, yeah.
I will endeavor to try and turn up live for that shit.
If it's not live, you can definitely find it on video on demand.
Well, there we go. We will watch WrestleRoo Kingdom.
Yeah.
2, I believe.
2, yes.
And it was a nice little subtle plug for your own Insomniac Gamers channel.
Oh, yes. Insomniac Gamers, you can find me there, twitch.tv/InsomniacGamers12345, or the main site, InsomniacGamers.net, group of 20 streamers. Trying to keep close to 24/7 live streaming as much as seemingly possible. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. This is like, I think, our 10th anniversary or something coming up. Yeah, it's been around a long time, so
man.
Yeah, come check us out.
Awesome sauce. And of course, you can check all of our stuff out here on LOLWrestling.com. You can find prediction events on FujiBets, and you can find us on Twitter at LOLWrestling. And of course, you can find us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/LOLWrestlingTV to get updates for all the things we're doing, including on Monday will be the 4th week of Monday Night Red versus Poop Down. I believe Samoan Driver will be joining us again for his, I think, your now established spot in the third man chair, providing reactions and ratings to find out who has won. And it will be our first pay-per-view.
Ooh.
So it's going to be an extended show this week. We were doing Monday Night Red, Friday Night Poop Down, and Climb It Change, which is going to be an all-out ladder pay-per-view. So, Lord knows what is going to happen with that. We're hoping that our Money in the Bank matches get triggered as well, so that should be awesome.
The only request I have, no more promos for Poop Down. No more promo main events. I feel sorry for Dark Matrix. I honestly do. I try not to bury his main events, but that's what kills him in the ratings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he might have a terrible promo this week as well. Who knows? I got no rivalries going on. We can't tell you what the card is because we don't know.
Yeah.
Until the night. I think I had a pretty awesome show last week, so go check that out on YouTube when it gets actually. So yeah, I think that is pretty much everything. We'll be back next week at a slightly later time. I'm hoping that's good. I didn't clear that with you before the show.
Oh no, that's good.
Okay, so we'll be back at a later time. We'll be doing 12 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is going to make it. I want to say 5 p.m. my time, possibly. I don't know. Work it out. We'll work it out. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in and listen wherever you listen to the show, and we will see you very soon.